The 1965 Motor Trend 500 was held on January 17th at Riverside International Raceway. Riverside was a 2.7-mile road course located in Riverside, California. 43 drivers entered, with many notable names in the field. However, one thing was on everybody's mind. Would it be a clean and safe race? 1 year ago, in the same race, two-time NASCAR champion Joe Weatherly was killed. Trying to make up time lost in the pits, Weatherly lost his brakes entering turn 6. His car drove over the edge of the dirt embankment entering the turn and struck the wall so hard his head hit the wall as well. Weatherly was killed instantly. Everybody was looking to play it safe today. Junior Johnson, driving his cell phone number 27 Ford, won the pole, and 1963 Indianapolis 500 winner Parnelli Jones started alongside Johnson in second. The race went green, and Parnelli Jones immediately took the lead from Johnson. Parnelli began to pull away and would lead the opening 36 laps before pulling into the pits with valve issues. Jones DNF'd in 33rd, and Johnson took the lead. As Johnson continued to lead, two new challengers began to work their way up through the field. The number 00 of A.J. Foyt and the number 121 of Dan Gurney. At the time, Foyt had won 2 NASCAR races at Daytona, 2 Indianapolis 500s, 27 USAC races, and 3 championships, and Gurney had won the last 2 runnings of the Motor Trend 500. Gurney took the lead away from Johnson on lap 39 and led the next 43 laps before Johnson took it back for 9 more. Gurney took the lead again on lap 91, and Johnson started to fall back as A.J. Foyt took over second place, and over the course of the next 76 laps, Gurney and Foyt battled bumper to bumper for the lead, and the crowd was loving the action. Going into turn 8, Foyt spun around battling Gurney. Foyt looped his car around, but lost a lot of ground to Gurney, and immediately went to work to try and gain it back. But trouble struck on lap 167. Going down Riverside's long back straightaway, Foyt was catching Gurney and was battling Junior Johnson for second, when all of a sudden, Foyt lost his brakes. Foyt was going too fast entering turn 9, and when Junior Johnson came to his outside, Foyt only had one choice. Foyt hooked a hard right and went to the inside to avoid hitting Johnson. The entrance to turn 9 had a deep drop, and when Foyt drove off the track, his car immediately became airborne and dove down the embankment, impacting the ground with such force that his car became airborne again and flipped over one time before landing on his wheels. Foyt was immediately knocked unconscious, and when track officials and medical crew arrived at the scene, they saw Foyt was not moving and was unresponsive, and after attending to him, Foyt was declared dead. Parnelli Jones saw the crash and rushed over to the scene to see if Foyt was okay. When he got there, medical crews told him AJ was dead, but Parnelli saw something. He looked over at AJ and saw movement. Parnelli went over to AJ and managed to pull a big clod of dirt out of AJ's mouth. After a few moments, AJ was once again conscious and was alive. AJ was rushed to a local hospital with a broken back, a broken ankle, and a ruptured aorta. Foyt was out of racing for 2 months while he recovered and returned at the USAC race at Phoenix in March. If it wasn't for Parnelli's quick thinking, Riverside could have had its second fatality in a row, and the racing world could have lost one of its greatest. But AJ lived, and he and Parnelli went on to have legendary careers. AJ went on to win the 1972 Daytona 500, 2 more Indianapolis 500s, the first driver to ever win 4 Indy 500s, as well as 7 USAC championships and 67 wins total, the most of any driver. Parnelli Jones would win the Indy 500 2 times as an owner, in 1970 and 1971, with Al Unser Sr. In 1967, 2 years after saving Foyt's life, Parnelli would win at Riverside, his 4th and final NASCAR victory. And in 1970, 5 years after Foyt's crash, A.J. Foyt himself would win at Riverside. Looking back at this, it's hard to even think that the racing world could have changed at this moment, and it's also hard to think what their careers would have been like if Parnelli Jones had not been at the right place at the right time that day in 1965.